Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here for some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC speculation. It's about that time to talk about the upcoming Super Saiyan 4 character. Obviously, he was just recently revealed from the last episode of Daima, and as we all know, Sparking Zero does have Daima packs planned for the future of the game, being DLCs 2 and 3. Now, I don't necessarily expect Super Saiyan 4 Goku to appear until the final DLC, right? DLC 2 might consist more of the earlier characters from the episodes. I mean, base Vegeta and Glorio are already confirmed. So Supreme Kai, Piccolo, maybe Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. You know what I mean? I think they're saving SSJ4 for the final pack, which does make sense. You know, pair him up with Goma, maybe even Tamagami 1. Who knows? Who knows? I will do an update DLC pack 2 and 3 character speculation, just because, you know, we still have 2 episodes left, being 19 and 20. We could potentially witness a fusion bug technique going on, but that's for a different day. Stay tuned for that. Today we're just going to be talking about Super Saiyan 4 Goku in terms of his transformation, super attacks, ultimates, movesets in general. Without further ado, make sure to drop a like, turn on post notifications, and let's jump straight into it. So first and foremost, I think it would be great to get an actual transformation. You know, base Goku transforming into Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, if they include that form, Super Saiyan 3, and then Super Saiyan 4. I kind of feel like they're going to be updating the pre-order base Goku that we have now. So when DLC 2 drops, the first Daima pack, they might update the character for him to be able to transform into Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. And then when DLC 3 drops, they'll update the same character transforming from Super Saiyan 3 into Super Saiyan 4. That's if they include a transformation, because do remember that some characters can't necessarily transform into the final states. Take a look at Ultra Instinct Saiyan and Ultra Instinct Goku. Well, UI Saiyan can transform into UI, but he can't transform from his other super counterpart, you know, Blue into UI Saiyan. You can't do that. UI Goku is his own standalone entity. That very well could be the same for SSJ4 Daima Goku, which, to be honest, that kind of makes sense, just because Goku can't necessarily tap into the SSJ4 power by himself. He needs the Old Man Namekian to unlock that form with magic. So if they do go down that route where we can't necessarily transform into SSJ4 Daima Goku, it will make sense canon to the actual story at the end of the day. I mean, they have been updating the character slightly from BT3. Take a look at Cell, right? In BT3, he was able to transform from his perfect form into his perfect form, but they changed that in Sparking Zero. We can't transform into his, you know, perfect Cell evolution. So I kind of feel like that might be the case. However, I would prefer to get an actual transformation. If they do go down that route, I don't necessarily expect to get the whole visual effects, right, from the anime. They do that sometimes, however. Just take a look at Beast Gohan. Bro, that was like frame by frame to the movie. Insane. Now, I don't think the Old Man Namekian is going to appear, you know, unlock the form for Goku, give him the magic power, or even the sequences that we get right here. You know, he teleports into that different realm with that orange light, and then we have the magic flowing right through the DNA. Maybe not all that, but I think it would be great to get some visuals. I would not like it to be a generic charge up into the transformation, like how they did it for Jiren. You know, literally frame of Jiren powering up, next frame he's transformed. That's not how it should be. They have to do this form justice, right? Get that transition from the golden color scheme into the crimson. We have the tail, the zoom up to the eye, all that cool stuff. And then the secondary part of the animation, when he actually ascends into Super Saiyan 4, we get that fiery war transition. Dude, he starts to breathe fire, maybe even the glowy bright eyes, and then the final scene, he just powers up, and then there we have it, the true definitive transformation. Now, of course, I don't necessarily expect it to be that long. Maybe just include more of the key highlights, right? Because we have to quickly go back into the actual 1 versus 1 showdown. So I do get that it's not going to be an exact frame by frame, but it would be cool to get some of the visuals that they showed us in the anime, right? Now, as for the attacks and supers, here we're starting things off with the grab itself. This one is pretty straightforward. The dragon throw, he literally did this against Goma. I think this was like the first technique he used. First, he blocked the punch, which, by the way, that one-handed guard could very well be the perception, because the generic perception is you guard the attack with one punch anyways, but they could kind of alter the cutscene for Goku a little bit. Anyway, so Goku, he has Dragon Throw for like all the different variations, the Z end, mid, late, super. I think his grab changes only in the UI states. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I do think even in the God and Blue forms, he still has Dragon Throw. So definitely expect that for Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, for skills 1 and 2. I rewatched the episode just to get a better idea of what he could have, but this was the only thing I found. Basically, him charging up after he transforms. You can see that magic and golden energy surrounding Goku, and then eventually it surrounds the entire stage that they're fighting on. And then the fourth picture, bottom right corner, that's him in his full power state. That could very well represent a key refill skill attack or even an Insta Spark. Maybe not those two. It could represent a generic power boost. Well, there are different variations of the key refill. So for example, we have the boost that grants us additional points towards basic attacks, key blast attacks, or even ultimate attacks. Some characters, they get defense super armor. Then we have the skills that grants us full key, the basic 5 energy bars. And then we have other skills that grants us instant spark. And then other skill moves that combines all three, instant spark with power boosts. I guess you could say it technically depends on SSJ4 Goku's DP level. I kind of feel like he'll be around the 8 mark, maybe even 9. But if he is a 9 destruction points character, then I kind of expect an Insta Spark with a couple power boosts. Dude, something similar to UI Goku or Beast Gohan, just something absurd. If not that crazy, maybe an 8 destruction points character, then at least an Insta Spark or maybe a key refill with additional power boosts, right? Now, it's not just those that varies within the skill realm, right? So we have actual techniques. For example, after image strike, instant transmission, explosive wave, barriers. It just depends on the character itself. Now, some characters do have 2 power boosts for both skills 1 and 2, right? But again, skill 2 will be an Insta Spark for SSJ4 Goku, and for his skill 1, since he is Goku after all, he could technically use instant transmission or maybe an explosive wave, or maybe after image strike, just because his mobility when he was going up against Goma, how he was dodging incoming attacks, he was utilizing his tail during combat as, to evade some of the attacks. That was epic. So yeah, let me know down below your best predictions in the comments. I just want this character to be top tier. It's the final form within the Daima anime. It surpasses Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. He needs to be broken. What if they give him an Insta Spark with additional power boost and after image strike or even wild sense? Ooh, that would be crazy. I don't think he's going to be that overpowered. Again, probably around the 8 destruction points level. So going over here to the actual super attacks, we have the Blast 1. So each character has a Blast 1 and a Blast 2. For the most part, I would say that a lot of the characters, at least, the Blast 1 would consist of the energy waves, the consecutive rapid barrage, and Blast 2 would consist of the rush moves. Now, again, it just depends on the character, because some characters have 2 rush moves, some characters have 2 energy blast attacks. But for Goku, I found 2 great attacks for his Blast 1 and 2 additional attacks for his Blast 2. So we'll go ahead and break everything down. This is the first one, the Continuous Fire. So in Sparking Zero, they categorize the abilities. The Continuous Fire would be more of the Energy Blast Volley Barrage, those type of techniques. And we also have another category called the Simultaneous Fire. That would be something more like the Broly's Trap Shooter. You know how it's just one energy orb, you throw it and then it scatters? This attack right here that SSJ4 Goku is doing, it's kind of like a mixture of the Continuous Fire and Simultaneous Fire. So he summons an energy orb. You can see the top left image right here. And then whenever he throws out that energy orb, it scatters and divides into multiple energy blasts. And on top of that, Goku would just keep on applying energy like the typical energy blast volley technique. So it's like a combination of both the continuous fire and simultaneous fire. So this would be a great blast one in my personal opinion. He actually does this a few times. So this was the first time he, did it here. And then the second time is when everybody else jumped in to attack Goma, but then he just blocked everything with his energy orb. So Goma actually might have a barrier technique, right? A skill 1. I don't necessarily know how the actual developers, Spike Chunsoft, go about picking the character's moves, if they use it more than once, perhaps. But yeah, he does use it 2 different instances. Now, for the second blast one, which in my personal opinion would be the best case scenario, I want to see this attack in Sparking Zero, whether it's an actual blast one or maybe even the ultimate blast. Who knows? But he summons a Rasengan-esque technique. He jumps into the air. He enlarges the actual attack right here. And then he does like this sonic speed tornado technique. He recovers. He grabs the energy orb. And then he throws it down. How crazy is that? This would be a fire blast one. Now, you can see right here, it does actually say fire. So the attacks within the fire category would be more of the energy orbs. So Vegeta's Big Bang attack or Frieza's Death Ball, the supernova techniques, going back to Broly, Eraser Cannon, or even Bojack's Grand Smash ability, just the sphere orbs. I could definitely see this being in the actual game with that epic cutscene to it. He does the 180 Mach speed spin technique, and then he catches the orb that's floating in the air. Top tier stuff. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for sure. This needs to be in the game. Now, for the Blast 2s. Oh, before we go over to the Blast 2s, comment down below which one do you think is better, the continuous fire or the fire ability right here. Now we have the Blast 2 category. It varies, but I feel like he would have a rush technique just because he did this a few times in the anime. So if you rewatch the fight, you'll notice that he flies around a lot, but some instances when he flies with the aura to land an attack, we can hear the Kaioken sound design in the background. That very well could be a rush move, right? So this was one case of him using this attack where he sneaks up behind Goma, he kicks him, and then he flies towards the opponent and then does the headbutt. I feel like that would have a cool cutscene to it. Now, this is the second time he kind of used a rush move where we can hear the Kaioken sound in the background. So he actually flies up towards Goma. He does this 360 spin, and then he just punches him in the face. Yo, some of these frames go crazy. They're hilarious. So he does more of a 3-hit combination instead of, doing one attack, following up with another attack, and then finishing off with the headbutt. No, so he does the strike, and then he does a punch, kick, and then an additional punch, and then he lands it again with the headbutt technique. So yeah, since he does the headbutt strike for the final move twice in the show, I could see that being a Rush Blast 2, right? But a better Rush Blast 2 that I found would be this one right here. So where Goku kind of takes Goma through the mountain, we have this very cool showdown, blue versus red, where he does, a series of combinations, punches into the kicks, and then he ends it off with an actual it's not Final Flash, but it kind of looks like it. The 2 energy orbs times 10. Yeah, time perfect. Times 10, whatever this is. But it's not necessarily an energy wave. It's, again, going back to this one here, more like an orb sphere attack, but with 2 hands. If we take a look at the original game, Sparking Zero, some characters do have attacks that's similar to this. Ultimate Gohan with Burst Rush, how he does the attacks first and then follows up with Kamehameha. If we take a look at Super Saiyan 2 and Z Vegeta, how he does those crazy 1-2 punches and then finishes off with Final Flash. To be fair, those abilities are ultimate attacks. But if we take a look at a higher destruction points character like Blue Gogeta, I think he's a 10 points character. he has one of those attacks, but for a super, right? Where he does the 1-2 punches and then destroys the opponent with that cross arm explosive wave, whatever it is. So again, it just depends how high SSJ4 Goku is. If he's a higher destruction point character, we could see this as a Blast 2, where he does the punches first and then ends the cutscene or attack with that dual ×10 energy orb. That would be cool, right? So again, comment down below, which Blast 2 would you prefer? This one right here, I called it a Rush Fire because it's like a combination of the attacks ends the energy orb. This one, or just, you know, the normal rush moves. Now, for the ultimate blast, y'all already know this one. This has to be the ultimate with a very, very epic cutscene. Hey, man, this very well could just be a Blast 1, a generic Kamehameha. But the reason why I want to see this as the ultimate is because of the fiery aspect that he applies to the original energy wave. And plus the start of the cutscene, you know, he charges the Kamehameha. That could be epic as well. So here we have a couple different visuals. So first he charges, and even the aura itself, how we have like this blue orb, like bubbly orbs to it, they ripple throughout the aura itself. So witnessing that would be cool. And then we have the iconic stance right there, Goku charging up. But while he's charging up, we get kind of like that eye zoom in, something similar that they do for Beast Gohan. That could very well be a thing. Oh, and not to even mention the upside down. Yeah, so in the anime, he did get punched in the face. But I feel like for Sparking Zero, the cutscene, he would purposely jump upside down, right? Since he is extremely agile now, you know how he moves around with the tail and stuff. Yeah, so he would purposely first charge, then jump up, turn upside down, and then throw out the actual energy wave. But that's not all. That's not all. For the second part of the cutscene, you know, we get the close-up right here, and then that's where he applies the additional boost, where we get the fiery, flamey effect. I call this the flame Kamehameha, right? And yeah, that would be a 10 out of 10 character. We have the ultimate blast, Kamehameha energy beam. We have the Rush Fire for the Blast 2, or just the generic Rush. We have the Giant Orb for the Blast 1 with the front flip, or just the Energy Blast Volley, Continuous Fire, and the skills with that Insta Spark, maybe even Wild Sense, or maybe 2 Power Boost, who knows. Dragon Throw with that epic transformation cutscene. We need all of this in the game. Just wanted to talk a little bit about this character. Let me know down below your predictions for SSJ4 Daima Goku. Drop a like on today's video if you agree with my predictions, or if you just think some of them are pretty good. And yeah, this is it for today's video. Looking forward to the actual Sparking Zero Daima DLCs, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!